Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wildcard Minions of the Zoo Friday night. I'm your host, Prospero. Minions joining me this evening are Skep, Tock.
Hi, everybody.
Sanguine Mathghamhain.
Good evening, all.
And drumroll, please, Mr. Adam.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Mr. Adam?
I'm glad it's Friday.
You know, it's funny, even when you retire, Fridays hold a special place.
Yeah. How you guys doing? Nice to talk to you guys. This is going to be a nice start point for the weekend, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you let me join.
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because Fridays can be either everybody in the world is home and doesn't have anything to do and is like, hey, or nobody. So I like our little foursome here. I'm glad to hear that you're glad it's Friday. Sanguine, how are you this evening?
I'm doing grand. I have a pan heating up on my stovetop, ready for me to throw a ribeye in a few moments. I have a potato and acorn squash baking away in the oven, and just trying to figure out what all I'm going to serve with it. I think I'm going to do a salad, but I'm trying to decide, should I quick pickle some onions for it?
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, otherwise,
there's your
well.
answer. Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Pickle the onions.
You know my stance on onions, so
Yeah.
You view them as anathema, though I still say, give me a chance, I will make jammy onions that probably you will love, because they won't have that sulfurous note. Because I'm willing to bet it's the sulfurous note that puts you off onions.
Well,
yes, he thinks they're from hell, so the sulfur thing makes sense.
There you go.
Skep, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Mowed my yard today. And trimmed my dog's toenails, which is a bigger deal than you might think.
Than mowing the yard.
It's just painful.
Yeah.
And you have to have styptic and all that kind of stuff. So and she just hates that. And I hate doing it, because but the nails, if they get too long, they can hurt the pads, the foot, and everything else. So anyway, I was doing dog pedicures today. It's like being a secret agent around here. It's so exciting. By the way, if you want to disable Cortana, we were talking about Cortana and what a pain in the ass it is. What happened in Windows 10, and here's why you haven't disabled Cortana. Because Windows 10, when it started out, it had a little toggle switch. And you could either allow Cortana or not allow Cortana. Well, in one of the updates, they nuked that switch. That switch disappeared. So you have to have Cortana on all the time. However, you can still accomplish the hack of how to turn it off. You can do what that toggle did, and it's actually pretty easy to do. But you have to go into the registry editor, and you have to create a couple of values. Then you create these two values, and the registry will be read by the operating system, and it'll say, "Oh, no Cortana," and you will not have Cortana. Cortana will vanish from your life. You can also do it with something called a group policy editor. I'm more comfortable with regedit. Your mileage may vary. A lot of people like group policy editor. And it's easy to find instructions online how to do it. It'll take you less than a minute to do this, and you're done.
Wait, I don't think I've heard of that other software, but I am familiar with regedit. Does that mean
Yeah, group policy editor is basically a window frame around a lot of registry editing.
Where do you get RuPaul fallacy?
Group policy editor is actually included with the operating system, but you have to. What you do is you just go into the run bar and type GP, like golf papa, edit, GP edit, group policy edit, and all together, no spaces or anything, and it should come right up.
Cool.
But be sure and get the exact instructions for what you have to do in Group Policy Editor, because you can really Group Policy Editor is a very powerful tool, and you can mess up your system pretty badly. It'll also show you how to back up your system, and so you can unscrew yourself if you do screw yourself. I mean, these are powerful tools you have to do to get in and edit the raw parts of the kind of the database, you might say, the back-end database. That's sort of what the registry is. It's kind of like a hierarchical database, and go in there and edit that. And you can do that pretty easy. Anyway, just thought you'd like to know.
To answer your other question, Adam, how do you find a RuPaul fallacy? Well, it requires a bit of tucking and some interesting change in wardrobe.
No.
God.
Dude, you know what? For both of those, I think it's appropriate. Would you like to know more?
God almighty. No, stop right now.
Keep to the bug stopping.
Okay, yeah. These have been my guess, and that's been your minions. Night, everybody. Oh, holy cow. Oh, me.
Should we start offering some brain bleach along with the brain bugs?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going with this?
I don't need, as much as I'd like to use brain bleach, I'm afraid that it would clean out stuff that I need. And not clean out the things that I don't need. Like, I don't need to remember all the lyrics to the song The Night Chicago Died. But I have a feeling that wedged in between each stanza. God damn it. Is, like how to breathe. I'm just afraid that they're.
It sounds like you might need to defrag. Oh,
yeah, yes.
Waka.
Yeah. It's
Some
time.
OG operating system maintenance.
Yeah, it's time to find all those broken chains and make them go away. Decaw's grandma.
Remember defragmenting your disk?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That used to really speed it up too.
It did.
It
did.
File retrieval went way down. Did that?
Cree and I were talking about that not that long ago about what you did to make sure things worked quickly back in the old days.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was just going to say it wasn't our fault that we wrote the data onto the disk drive that way. So just got to fix it up.
Yep, stuff got corrupted and little bit blobs and thingies. Just the awful stuff. Dial up. I'll never forget the sound of a modem. Just that awful squee noise that it made.
Chewbacca's retarded brother.
Yes. Squee. And it's just.
Oh man, is it bad if I say it would be like Chewbacca Stephen Hawking? No. And we're banned.
Chewbacca going through one of those voice synthesizers would be pretty terrifying, Adam. Thank you.
There are a billion stars in the universe.
Do you know why those sounds existed? Do you have any interest in understanding what those sounds are?
Sure, go for it.
It's called handshaking, and it really is the way that modem stands for modulator demodulator, and it just takes information and converts it into a different mode essentially, and then converts it back. And so when they're setting up they have to do something called what that we call setting up a connection. It's actually these days you create a connection object, but back then one modem on one line would initiate the stream of data, and that stream of data was a query to the other end of the phone line, and the query was, here's what I am, what are you? And the other one would come back and say, I am one of these, I have these types of compression. And the other one would say, oh, okay, I have these kinds of compression, and we agree that there is a way to discern which compression we will both use. So we're going to use those. How fast can you go? Well, I can go this fast. Okay, I can go this fast, and the highest speed we can go together is this. So we're going to do that, and that's what that all that stuff is. The one modem talking to another.
So what you're saying is it was a digital dating app.
Well, they got to know it as a real quick hookup, you might say. Yes.
Okay.
See,
Literally.
Prospero took it in an entirely different direction than I was thinking, which is, man, I've been shaking hands wrong the entire time. I didn't know I was supposed to shriek at someone while shaking.
Please don't say.
Only if you're a modem. Only if you're a modem.
Please don't.
Oh my God! Hold on.
That's what. Yeah, that's what those noises are, and they're not. Obviously, they're not meant to come over an acoustic line, but since you were using an acoustic line, they showed up.
Shit. Two things come to mind. First, while I haven't seen Solo, I have heard that Lando Calrissian is dating a robot. Do you think that that's how they communicate sometimes? And B, or two, I guess I should say. Oh shit, I forgot.
All I can say is I do not want to see that data transfer happen.
Oh wait, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I heard a rumor like a long time ago. I don't know if it's a rumor, like an urban myth maybe, but Captain Crunch used to sell these like whistles, and it was like,
Yeah,
and
bosun's whistle.
And it was able to fool the payphone into giving you a call or something.
Yeah. Bosun pipe issues a very, very clear signal, and you can get them pitched differently. The standard Navy bosun's pipe is pitched. I forget what it is. I used to know. But you can get them at all different levels. And, theoretically, because it produces a very pure tone, yes, if you hit that frequency, the dial tone interpreter will say, oh, I've received a dial tone. I know what to do with that, and would do something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely can do it. People used to be able to whistle. You remember that, Prospero?
Mm-hmm.
The guys who could, the freakers who used to whistle into the phone and be able to have free long distance.
1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah, really.
Very much. Guys inside the prisons could do it. That was the interesting thing. They made a lot of free calling that way. And the people who had that ability in the prison became, some of them became fairly wealthy.
I can't imagine why.
So what you're saying is that the one dude from Police Academy was very popular in prison, but not for the way that you would think.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks.
Former corrections officer, you're welcome.
Yeah, I understand. Well, one of these days, we're just going to pray that one of these days you'll forget. Get over Macho Grande? I'll never get over Macho Grande.
Oh, God, Macho Grande. I was hoping it was because he was an upstanding prisoner, and he was well liked because he was very kind and nice to everybody.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yep.
So Green Badger Outdoors has given us a new phrase: electrogonorrhea, the noisy killer. Don't date robots. Thanks.
Oh no.
Something else to worry about.
Yeah, I know.
Man, it's fucking loud.
Yeah. You got yourself a real beeper in there last night, buddy.
You're sitting at work, you're sitting at your cubicle, and all of a sudden, fuck! I forgot to take my medicine.
Oh my god. Oh,
Oh, you had sex with a robot? Shut up.
sounds like Blade Runner has turned into Police Academy. It's just not good.
Hey, we're getting there. We are getting there.
I'm just happy they didn't use the phrase Hobot.
Well, we are a family program, so.
Are we?
I don't know.
I didn't think so.
If we are, that's one terrifying family.
Well, hey, did you see what the what was it? NPR was allowed with the drag lady, doing the drag queen shakes her hips.
Oh, for the kids?
Yeah, for the kids.
Family friendly entertainment.
There you go. So we're cool.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? We're also teaching them valuable lessons on how to disrupt payphone calls with a whistle, if you can find a payphone.
It's so funny. There is still a payphone down in Kill Devil Hills. It's not a real payphone. It's just the booth is still attached to a pole out in front of one of the hotels, and it's just great. They left it up.
Nice.
It doesn't work, but it's like this little memento on the side of the road, and it's funny because phone booths were everywhere and payphone walls were everywhere, and they so gradually disappeared. You don't notice until you see a remnant.
I blame Snake.
Okay.
The game or Metal Gear?
Well,
or
kind of combination. You see, once you could play Snake on your phone,
okay,
you really don't. I mean, it's like, dude, I could go to a payphone, or I can get this cell phone, and it also has Snake. That's
all right. I do have a story that is pretty funny. If you're interested,
would you like to know more?
Please.
Yes. Story away, my dude.
Okay. This is an ad for room rental in Portland, Oregon. It's
yes.
Just let me read this, okay?
Yep.
An online advertisement for a room opening in an Antifa housing collective and unregulated prostitution facility in Portland has gone viral after being met by a barrage of ridicule by social media users. I know you want to hear more.
Yes.
An advertisement for Creatures Co-op was posted on Facebook seeking, quote, secret roommate, end quote, to reside in an 8-foot by 8-foot corner of a living room built out of recycled doors and a shower curtain for $302 a month, $300 deposit, and plus $100 a month in utilities. Screenshots from the advertisement were posted on Twitter last week, prompting thousands of retweets and comments ridiculing the advert's stringent and bizarre rules. The Twitter user who uploaded the screenshots of the advert called the housing offer an exploitative scam nightmare trying to take advantage of people in desperate need. Here, this is from the actual notice. You, a cab, meaning all cops are bastards. Don't be ableist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynist, etc. reads the first rule in the advertisement. From there, the rules state the renter must be okay with noise and sex services performed at the home. Your walls don't extend all the way to the ceiling, so you'll hear a lot of stuff, the post reads. You must be okay with sex workers. We have three of them in our house and frequently have loud sex noises. Whoever moves in must also have little or no belongings and be okay with the home being used to host homeless people on our couch. Creatures Co-op is run by 27-year-old Brandy Joe Taylor Fish. Can't make this stuff up. Fish was a large donor to Defense Fund PDX and Antifa bail group that raises cash for criminal suspects such as Malik Muhammad of Indiana, who was charged with attempted murder of law enforcement officers using firebombs at the Portland riots. And Joe Fish is just as SJW and obviously fat acceptance as they get. Fish, who is non-binary and goes by the pronouns they and them, has also crowdfunded rent on Facebook in the past for other tenants at Creatures Co-op, including their partner, River Sayers, who is one of the fattest people I've ever seen in my life. Appears to have been a woman at some time, Flora Sayers, but she calls herself River because River. As much as I'm glad to not live in the same house anymore, I do miss this room a lot, Sayers, an amateur model, wrote on Facebook in February. Another one of the rules in the listing says the tenant must be okay with being a secret roommate because the whole situation is in violation of Oregon state law. The landlord doesn't know, but it also does not seem to care, Fish wrote. Yeah, well, the Oregon state law says you have to be on the lease. Anyway, the Northeast Portland home is registered to 25-year-old feminist activist Lindsay Louise Matilla, of course, who bought the house in March of this year, according to Multnomah County property records. The house is valued at more than $480,000.
Not anymore.
Matilla was reached for comment, but did not return comment. Was contacted. In addition to the $302 rent per month, the tenant would have to pay an additional, well, this says $60 to $80. I heard $100 in utilities and another $15 to $20 per month for an unspecified house fund, in quotes. So this opportunity for this 8x8 room for $400 a month, plus a $300 deposit, that little 8x8 slice of heaven with the loud sex noises and homeless living on the couch is all yours as long as you don't have any personal property, as long as you don't own anything.
So they put this ad out.
Yes.
In public.
And Andy No picked it up.
In public.
Yes, they did. They sure did.
For a secret
right
roommate.
Because they're smart.
Boy, they are
crafty.
Wow.
It's kind of smart, I guess, in the way that when the hobbits got Treebeard to take them south instead of west, so they'd go right by Saruman, and it was the last thing that he would expect. Closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm. It's the same sort of non-logic
hide
logic.
in plain sight, yeah.
Right, hide in plain sight, yeah, which was bullshit. All they wanted him to do was see the devastation, but that's advance the plot. But anyway, I digress. This is absolutely. Oh man, and these people. I mean, I don't want to get this show in trouble. I don't think I should show these on, but I will show this in the after show.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Do you have the link? And you can chat for our friends out there, because
anyone who wants to see this.
B Junkie has a penetrating question here in chat. Do communist prostitutes decide from according to their ability to according to their need, or does the pimp, who I assume would be the government? Very, very good point.
That is, there it is for us in that I haven't got the...
I had a much simpler question. I mean, at first, I was like, oh, shit, you're living with some prostitutes? Well, that price doesn't sound so bad if, maybe they give you their services once a month or something like that. But then I remembered it was Portland, and I was like, oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
When you see these people,
I don't want to.
I'm gonna just dump this into chat right here.
I would like to get some sleep tonight, so. No,
speaking of brain bleach,
if they were the sort that you would want the services of, I think that you would need a whaling vessel.
Well, that's why I was like, I would deal with
The link
the
is
8x8.
there. The link is there for you to peruse, and they have pictures of Ms. Fish and the other gigantic lady, and the other lady is even bigger than Ms. Fish.
Miss Fish. Does
Yeah.
she look like? Wasn't there a movie about that guy who turns into a fish?
The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Yeah,
See,
with Barney Fife.
And he had glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the image that I got in my head right now. It's like Miss Fish. It's a
Don
lady-
Knotts was his name, the actor.
Oh yeah, Don Knotts.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the cop in fucking.
Mayberry.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
What? Oh, you saw the picture.
That what is
It's
that?
It's not good, is it? It's not
A
good at
great
all.
white whale, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
chose
we
wrongly.
did. Yeah.
I,
Did you,
Oh.
are you looking at the semi-nude one?
yes.
Oh my God, that is brain bleach city.
And she's an amateur model.
Oh, ah.
Yes. What precisely is going on with her chest? Not that I really want to know, but what is that? I've never seen anything like that.
I don't.
You've never seen anything like. I mean, I've done. I've sat there through autopsy after autopsy, and I've seen some really weird stuff, and I've never seen anything that looked like the thing on the left.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
It's not. It's completely not clear to me, and it's very
No.
worrisome, frankly.
It's
Okay, let's see if my normal cast iron stomach is up to par with this.
I guess the tattoo is to draw away from the fact that it looks like she has 3 breasts, although it could
She's
be
got 3 breasts. Holy shit!
At least 3.
it could be that is the side
Are we on
fat
Mars?
that has been molded into a breast.
That's what it is.
It's just migrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It headed east.
it murdered the other breast.
Yeah.
It strangled it in its sleep, and now there's just this.
Fucking colonizers, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's just-
is.
Holy shit, Zoli. I bet that gets a lot of cat calls. Like
It's a
cats
Yeah.
screaming in fear and running
Hold
away.
on, but hold
It's
on.
a combination of the side fat on one side and then just the center fat in the middle. Because that isn't right. That's a deformity.
That's wrong.
What do you think if that's
Yeah,
one of
you know, the
their,
other
their
thing-
specials? You know,
The other thing is, that's a human being in that photograph, and that human being is going to
Reportedly.
be dead when she's 45 years old,
Yeah, if not sooner.
if not sooner.
Hey,
That's
but you got to
exactly right.
remember, a lot of these people, they're living their life as with the mentality of, you know, I'm gonna. At least I'm assuming. I'm hoping, because this is deranged. If they're being, first off, it's horrifying if they're being forced to do it, which I don't think they're doing it. But it's another thing if they're oblivious to it. That's sad too. But I think a lot of them are doing it with full intent, because they feel, I'm going to be alive, I'm going to do what I want to do, and blah, just do what.
I don't think somebody that fat can be happy,
Also,
no matter
They
what,
look
no
like-
matter the lies that they tell themselves.
they
Well,
look like the poster child
hope so.
of, I'm not here for a long time, nor a good time. I'm just depressed.
I'm
Well,
just
somebody's
here for
having a good time. Somebody's having a good time. They're still in the profession. Yes.
I want to see the Johns, honey.
I was just gonna say,
They're meth teeth, and they shuffle in, and then they go, and then they shuffle out.
Yeah.
I doubt that. There ain't nothing sexy going on in that
Well,
apartment.
like I said, I mean, enough that they made it a bullet point in their advertisement that they make loud sex constantly or something. Like, what was it, all the time or every day or something like that?
Yeah.
So it's somebody is paying for these services.
I don't know. The loud
No,
sex
that's
noises could be not there, motherfucker. So you know,
And
it could just be watching porn really loud too.
No,
Mhm.
see, the loud sex noises is because their only clientele use echolocation.
God, yeah, they're shouting. They're shouting into a telephone. That's their loud sex noises.
You're
I
watching
said
your
I
cup of
wanted
water
extra
vibrate.
ham on that pizza.
Well, there's plenty extra ham right there.
No kidding. I don't think I'll be having ham anytime in the next.
That's awful. But yeah, I kind of feel terrible for those people. How did all those people get led to a place where, first of all, they think that's even a way to live, and secondly, look at the values that they hold. Look at the decisions that rendered them to this place in their life, to where they're willing to live like this.
I'd wager that it came from either incredible indulgence
Or real privation.
or real
Abuse.
Yeah, real dysfunction.
Yeah.
It's one or the other, because there seems to be this bizarrely self-destructive nature of that goes along with affluenza too. You know,
Well, isn't that how Rome fell?
Yes, that is exactly
Yes.
how Rome
Yep.
fell.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Adam, that's a good call.
Oh, well, hey, don't forget I like history, so yeah.
You're also a smart guy, dude.
No, I'm not. I'm fucking dumb.
Shut up. You are smart. You're very smart.
You're two. Yeah.
I'm two.
I'm too. Yeah.
The only difference is that when this sort of society collapses due to it, there won't be people so composed that the invaders think they're porcelain statues.
Yes.
Well, I don't think the Chinese army is going to be dragging those people out in the streets anytime soon for some.
They can't spare the manpower. It would take 10 of them to drag it out of the house. They'll just burn the house down around them.
Maybe all 10 of them will have a go at it.
Yeah, it could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard that song today, "Burn Down the House" by the Talking Heads.
Oh shit! Hold on, I just saw on Twitter there was like somebody in Baltimore. Somebody set their house on fire, and then they started shooting at the cops as they walked up. Again, I just saw a quick glimpse before I jumped on, so I don't know if what I'm saying is real, but
it sounds
like Baltimore.
Yeah.
Dash cam. It was dash cam, and that's what I was seeing. So,
good God, so they set the bait by setting fire to their own house.
Well, and again, it reminds me of, I guess, in Arkansas or Alabama, there was a dude who was calling people to come outside, and Tim Pool talked about it and started shooting people. And so I think
he killed one person.
Yeah.
Before they managed to shoot him to pieces. Yeah. He was yelling at him, "Get out of there! Get out! Come out! Everybody get out of there!" And he was shooting them as they came out.
I think these guys should just go hang out with these people in Portland, and rent the room for a week or two, and maybe they'll calm down for a bit.
And if I remember correctly, let me quickly double check before I say this. You guys talk. I'm quickly double checking so that I don't say something wrong.
It's what a world.
I also saw on Twitter, this is, Twitter's both good and bad, because you see a lot. Well, I always try and cater my timeline towards specific, recurrences. Every so often I get the news stuff, except if it's big. But I did see one picture, and they put, what's that called? Was it fudge stripe? Where it's like a circle cookie, and then it's fudge on the bottom, and then stripes on the top, right? Fudge stripe, right? They use 2 of these in place of the graham cracker for a s'more, and I'm sitting there like, holy fuck! How have I not thought of that before? That's fucking genius.
Mm.
And I was right. So I will say this without fear of saying something wrong. Did you guys see the incident that happened in New Mexico a couple days ago?
No.
With the drug runner?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
What was that about?
So there was a man who was known to the feds as a drug runner. He was known to be armed and extremely dangerous. The feds radioed for the police to pull this man over, did not forward along any of the information about him being armed and dangerous.
Oh no.
So one officer pulled him over and didn't know that he was armed and dangerous, just knew that he was supposed to pull this man over and kind of hold him there. So he was talking to the guy and asked him to get out of the truck, and he had done, you know how it is on busy highways, they go to the passenger side rather than the driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked to the guy, said, okay, why don't you get out, walk behind the truck, we'll figure out what's going on, get all your information, make sure that everything's good to go. So the guy agrees, gets out of the truck, and unbeknownst to the police officer who pulled him over, he hides an AR as he's slipping out and holds it in low beneath where the police officer can see. The moment that the police officer shows up on the other side of the truck bed, he opens fire, kills the police officer, kicks him off to the side of the road, and hops in his truck and starts.
Oh,
driving.
I saw that video. They ended up killing that guy.
Yep. So
Good job, feds, for passing on the important information.
someone came along, I think it was one of the DEA people that were coming to the location once they had heard that he had been pulled over. And they find the officer's dead body. They radio in that an officer's down and the information on the vehicle.
Yeah. He actually got one whole exit up the freeway before they pulled him over and opened fire. Then after they'd put about 300 rounds in the car, they said, "Stop, come out with your hands up."
Well,
that was almost ethereal.
This might be a different case than what you're talking about.
Okay.
This one was a chase up the highway. He was pitted by an officer.
Yeah.
And as his truck was still sideways and kind of careening off to the side of the road,
Didn't they open fire?
He started getting out of the truck armed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Came round, fired at the police officer who had just pitted him, who was able to get out of his vehicle.
No, that's the same one. Same one. They just opened up on the guy.
Yeah, he was able to pop off a couple shots before the guy came up on him. The police officer got out, was winged in the arm, repositioned, then went up and mag dumped the guy, thankfully, because, dangerous fuck. And I saw at least one person saying that, why did they mag dump?
Yeah.
This is fucked up. They executed him.
Why did they put a magazine of ammunition in the guy? And the answer to that is they only had one mag with them. Otherwise, they would have put more.
But
the question should be, why didn't they put more ammunition into him?
Absolutely. And the wife of the officer who sadly died is currently in the process of suing the federal government because they didn't pass on the information. So it's because they did not pass on
I think she probably get some money.
Yeah, because they did not pass on the information, she's now
that's a wrongful death, don't you think? Prospero, or is that
Yeah.
stretch it too far? The culpability.
Um,
It's pretty hard to prove.
They had I'm pretty sure they had duty to inform.
To be directly
as fellow law enforcement agents. They knew the man was armed and dangerous. There isn't a single patrol officer who would have
you know what they'll have to
approached
do?
that vehicle alone.
They
in
will
that
look
instance.
into department procedures and see if there is a different set of procedures if you get a description like that. And I'll bet there isn't. I'll bet they have a standard set of procedures, and it may turn on something like that. Wait and see. I hope she gets a ton of money, but more I think about a wrongful death, there's a lot of places for that to be defended. The problem for the government is that in defending something like that, the press is going to just the bad press that they'll get from that may just make it be worth, hey, it's an investment in PR, pay her off.
And yeah, B Junkie, it was one officer who opened fire because it was the officer that pitted the guy, and then the guy came up to try to shoot him. He was able to get out and shot the.
They'll have witnesses too that come in and say,
drug runner.
If you had heard this guy was armed and dangerous, would that have changed how you would have approached this? Would have changed anything that you did? Is it reasonable to think that that would have altered anything that the guy would? And if they get a bunch of witnesses to say yes, it would. Then you might have a de facto argument.
Yeah, I think always approach with caution, but when you know they're armed and dangerous, I would imagine that there's separate procedure where they get two officers involved.
And the video,
as opposed to
where you wait for backup.
Yeah, you wait for backup, and I mean, you don't make a normal traffic stop on. Hey, could you pull this guy?
Yeah, you hold and wait for the gendarmes to arrive. Yeah,
the video of the two incidents. The first one, it makes it very clear that he was not informed, armed and dangerous, because he was treating it like
a regular traffic stop,
pulling over Joe Blow, who had plates that were expired, rather than someone who is dangerous.
Right.
And
that doesn't mean that is what policy is, though.
True.
That's just the video. But I would wager when they know they have an armed assailant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
that they never go in alone. Never go in alone, because it's too primed for exactly what happened.
Did you read the citation they gave to the officer who killed the guy?
Did you just pull it up? Because I have not seen it.
The Good Boy Award.
Yeah. It's the Las Cruces Police Department Chief Miguel Dominguez gave the following statement: "The men and women of the Las Cruces Police Department are grateful for the honor Mayor Ken Unpronounceable has bestowed upon Officer Adrian de la Garza. We wholeheartedly concur with the remarks made by the mayor. Officer de la Garza was placed in a critical incident with an armed and dangerous subject who sadly and tragically had just taken the life of a New Mexico State Police Officer, Darian Jarrett. Officer de la Garza completed a successful pit maneuver on the fleeing suspect and nearly immediately was taking fire at close range from the suspect. Adrian was shot and wounded and still had the intestinal fortitude to bring a successful resolution to the situation. The fact is, Adrian never gave up on himself or on the safety and welfare of other officers involved in this incident. The training Adrian received from his time at the academy through his 17 years with the LCPD was successfully put to use at several levels to bring an end to the volatile encounter. We are proud to call Adrian de la Garza one of our own. We wish him well in his continued recovery." And that's really kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's a great write-up. And to comment on a couple things that chat said, for B Funky, yes, Donut Operator did a video on it. It is absolutely high quality. I recommend to anyone interested.
Good.
Donut Operator is a good guy.
Watching it, yeah. Quality dude.
He and Angry Cop, I'd like them both.
Green Badger Outdoors. The officer ended up mag dumping into the guy has an absolutely beautiful reload immediately after mag dumping. So he did have several more mags on him. It was just
He didn't need to use them, and why waste the ammunition?
Yeah, he dumped that one, got his
You could see the brain
and,
clearly sizzling in the New Mexico sunshine.
Yep. But yeah, it was an absolutely beautiful, just bam, 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 bam. Okay, drop, new one. Okay, he's not moving. I can now
stop and put your hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
Having a little trouble breathing there, buddy?
Yeah, breathing through the extra mouths in your chest.
Oh, God, that's grim. It's just...
And chorus is he. SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh.
And Matanva, tailed feature. It's good to see you in chat. You shouldn't be awake at this hour, but it's nice to see you in chat. He's up. He's up before the birds.
Yeah.
Having been up at the same hour here, it's
the early bird that gets the worm. So the saying goes.
Well, at least
I'd like to be the second one, so I can laugh at the guy eating the worm.
Okay, that's probably fair.
Well, hey, there's some people who drink tequila with the worm, so.
Yeah.
I have eaten the worm out of them. It's not out of tequila. It's out of mezcal, out of a mezcal bottle many times. It was part of finishing the bottle was eating the worm.
It looked more like a millworm. I was stupid. I'm dumb. But I was gonna say, at least we have some culture this evening with us. We have a Scotsman, as opposed to those Canucks that always seem to flood our streams and shows. Like, jeez.
I'm pissing off the ethics with Adam.
Well, yeah, you know what you get with me.
And since you've eaten the worm, have you kissed the dead man's toe yet?
Whoa. You want a toe? I'll get you a toe.
I'd never heard that euphemism used that way.
There's a drink in... I'm trying to remember what bar it is. I want to say it's in Canada.
Sometimes I make myself laugh.
Where they ended up just being gifted a toe from someone that had frostbite. So as you do, they decided that they would sterilize the toe, and one of the drinks that you can order.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the story. Yeah,
yep.
I do know the story.
Is this real?
It is absolutely real.
So you order the drink, and the sign that you're done drinking is when you've kissed the dead man's toe.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Because
wasn't there a scary story about a dead man's toe or something like that?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Monkey's paw, but...
Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's summon Monkey. Let's see. Let's get his
God. That's all we need, right?
And Tailed, it's not just heroin and munchie boxes. Don't forget the Buckfist and the... damn it, what was the other thing that I was just about to mention? And it's gone. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're gonna love old age.
Yeah. Heart disease and alcoholism. We have plenty of that here.
Yeah. Okay.
We were
Iron Brew. That's the one that was...
Oh, yeah.
Well,
they ruined Iron. They ruined Iron Brew. A munchie box. It's...
Well, you go, because mine wasn't PG-13.
It's no wrong box. This is munchie boxes are you're in a hurry to die boxes.
What?
So is heroin a big problem in Scotland? Is it seriously a big problem in Scotland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know. I didn't know.
No, I didn't know. I'm asking. Yeah, is it? Yeah, is it?
So I've heard tell.
Hmm.
Let me put it that way. So I've
The
heard
real
tell.
question is, which way's the real threat? Are the Scots a bigger threat to the heroin supply, or is the heroin supply a bigger threat to the Scot supply?
Well, if you've seen the
man.
SNP, I think heroin has already done its job.
I
True.
guess they all want to be the Highlanders. Oh God!
God damn it!
But they could
Not
not do
much.
it.
Train spotting is a documentary. Nice.
Oh man!
I guess it is popular.
Tailed honey, if you want to hop on, let me know.
Yeah,
I'll shoot you
yeah.
the link. It's
Shoot
been a
me the
long
link
time
anyway,
since we.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I
Should
wasn't
go.
prepared for that. I don't have. Look, my notes are all for American people, not for outside people.
Well, that's
Oh,
okay.
that's okay.
You can
He'll write
I
some
have-
Gaelic
I have-
notes for you.
Oh shit! I
He's
have
got-
some notes. I always have a fucking giant portfolio of fucking things for the Canucks because God, every time.
Just
I swear.
throw in some references to the ladies from hell, and you're good to go, Adam.
You know,
Ladies
Canucks
from
used
hell.
to be almost like the N word back in the day.
Was it? I
For,
always thought it
yeah,
was for the
Canadians. Man, if
helicopter.
you called a Canadian a Canuck, you were in for a fight, especially if you had an American accent.
Nah, it probably wouldn't last long. Knock them down real quick. Then you go about your day.
Yeah.
Unless
They
they're
were all
lumber.
lumberjacks back then, anyway.
Yeah. Let's leave those.
Of course
guys
they
alone.
were.
But we wouldn't.
French fur trappers and lumberjacks.
Yeah,
that's
for
what we used to
for
sing the
trappers and
lumberjack
lumberjacks.
song.
We'll sleep.
We
all
are
night, then
lumberjacks.
work all day.
I got stone trees, I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. I want to be a girly, just like my
like my
dear
girl.
pa. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Oh God, that skit. Jesus God.
Culture.
Yes, it was. It was culture.
Oh, this is fun.
It
Oh,
was.
please. Hold on. Please, Tail, you jump on. That'd be awesome. And then let's get us a Canadian. Oh, jeez. Oh, even better. Oh, man. You know what would be better? I would summon Terry to have Terry. Because I haven't talked to him in a long time. In a while. Not a long time. but a while.
Terry's on another stream, sweetie.
Yeah, I know he is. That's why he's a jerk off. And he's those fucking Australians. What do you think? That's why the British sent him over there.
This is Adam, our ambassador of jingoism. Fuck you, because you're Australian. Fuck you, because you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Fuck you, because you're.
Hey, no. The Brits, the Irish, and the Scots are cool. I'll dig with them. But the Canadistanis and Australians, yeah, no.
So you're fine with the mix, the max, and the lobster backs?
Yes.
Is that what they're called?
Well, that would be the summation.
I mean,
Although they were mix and max and lobster backs. Don't forget.
I don't know. I've never tried lobster, so. Wait, that's probably not part of the equation.
No, not really. They just
Have
call
you
them
ever tried a rock lobster?
Rock lobster.
Oh, and according to B Junkie, apparently Beho was evicted.
Oh no!
Well, were they evicted from their little paradise on the mountain?
Oh no! Do you have any links?
B Junkie, let us hook us up with a link, bud.
Yeah, dude.
Because that's gonna make Harry so sad.
Ted
Oh,
wants on Prospero.
I sent him
Yep.
the link, sweetie.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you, sweetie.
Sweetie. Yes, sweetie.
It's so reflexive. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, we sound
very
like a
familiar.
bad 1930s radio
Yeah.
serial.
Honey,
Honey,
why'd
we are
you
being
put
invaded
the
by
Epsom
aliens.
salts?
It's in the closet, Fibber.
Yeah. God,
Crash, bang, 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 crash.
Perfect.
And this is brought to you by fresh Roma tomatoes. That's right, Roma tomatoes. When you need that real taste of Italy, remember to buy Roma tomatoes.
Roma.
I was good. I thought they were gypsy tomatoes.
Not
when you
Roma.
want the taste of Italy, Heinz ketchup provides that deep, satisfying, delicious tomato richness that you identify with, Enrico Caruso and the gondolas of Venice.
And the
It was-
gonorrhea of Venice.
Oh, shit.
Prospero. It
These
was
days.
Roma tomatoes, not Romani tomatoes.
Yeah, well, they also call them the Roma.
I know.
Oh, the San Miguel sheriff on Twitter. Oh no, I'm so sad.
American Roma tomatoes are really disappointing, by the way, in my opinion.
The only time I've ever had a Roma tomato that was any good is in an Olive Garden salad because it's drenched in the Olive Garden dressing.
Well,
and
the Olive Garden dressing comes from God. So,
yes, and the extra Romano
Wait a
cheese and
minute.
cracked black
Wait a
I mean,
pepper.
when the best thing about your entire restaurant is the salad dressing.
Yes,
Hold on. So is it a specific dressing? Like
yes, it
Is
is.
it
It's
called Olive?
it's called
Garden
Olive
dressing?
Garden dressing, and a lot of grocery stores carry it now.
Is it really?
But it's not as good. It's
Hold
not
on,
as good
hold on.
out
It
of the
is.
bottle.
It's pretty close.
It's very
hold
close,
on.
but it's not it's not identical.
I have to make the salad identically though,
Yeah, you have
that-
to make the salad identical, and
which
get exactly
requires
right.
Roma tomatoes, pepperoncinis, and ripe
Specific lettuce.
olives.
and 3 different kinds of lettuces.
It's romaine and iceberg primarily.
Well, yeah, but there's also some
They
radicchio
use
or
cat.
something.
No, they use red cabbage, little
Maybe
shreds
that's
of
what it
red
is.
cabbage and carrot.
Maybe that
and-
is what it is.
Yeah. It's so if you get
'Cause it
American
gets that
blend,
crunch. It's got more crunch
Yeah.
than American salads do.
Well,
but if you get American
Whoa, whoa.
blend that has,
I know what it is. Yeah,
you know,
I
well,
get it sometimes.
you can come close, and then you have to buy the Olive Garden croutons.
Yes, that
Shit, now you're adding
absolutely
croutons.
is.
all right, hold
That
on.
absolutely is
Before you start adding on like chicken and shit, let me speaking of chicken.
We
Let me
never
say-
had chicken shit.
No,
Well,
That
the
goes in the
CDC said you can't
minestrone.
snuggle and kiss chickens, but hold on.
no,
Okay,
actually,
so
the pasta is
Olive Garden has a dressing that is specific to Olive Garden,
yes.
correct? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as what I saw recently on Twitter, but it was, I think, was it Buffalo Wild Wings or
Yeah, they
Wingstop?
sell their sauce.
Where they had their ranch and they were
Mhm.
like going off on it. And I gotta say, like, I've had Wingstop and the ranch is fucking delicious. And I hate saying that because, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, you like that? But no, it's fucking delicious.
Adam, what's wrong with liking ranch dressing? There's nothing
I don't-
wrong with liking.
And there's
ranch
some
dressing.
blends of ranch dressing. There's
It
some
tastes different.
iterations of them that are better than others.
Yeah,
Some
there
ranch
you go.
dressing is just vile. And other ranch dressing, see, I don't like ranch dressing.
Yeah.
Give me
So-
a buttermilk and garlic heavy one. And
For
I'm
me,
Hold on. Is
to
this
like
going to be?
ranch dressing means it's a particularly flavorful
What
one.
kind of dressings do you
Oh,
prefer?
Anything but ranch.
So you like Russian dressing and French dressing?
I like Russian dressing. I like French dressing, but blue cheese dressing is my
It's your go-to.
favorite. And the company I used to buy jarred dressing from doesn't sell it in any of the grocery stores anymore. It seems it was naturally fresh.
Mhm.
It reminded me the most of my mom's that she made when I was young.
Mhm.
Even though I have the recipe and it's not the same. I've tried to make it. I don't know what's different. But it had nice chunks of blue cheese in it. I'm an enormous blue cheese fan.
Me too.
I adore
I like
it.
stinking
Hot
cheese.
wings. Yo.
I like it on hot wings because ranch on hot wings is just the devil's ass to me. But if
What?
other people like it, that's
Yeah.
fine by me. I just don't want it.
Yeah.
If you give me ranch dressing like for fried pickles or something like that, I'm adding a hot sauce to it and turning it into a spiced ranch because ranch is just bland to me. I used to love Green Goddess dressing. Remember that, Skep?
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. Green goddess.
Hold on, what is green goddess?
It is like a buttload of herbs and garlic, and the dressing is actually green.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
that sounded
you know,
like a commercial where they're not really telling you what's in it, but they're just like showing you images of
It's a
tasty
sour
food, and
cream.
then
It's like if you took a ranch and you really, really herbed it up and added more garlic to it, but it's thicker.
Herb it up. You get
You know,
it high, dude.
one of the things that I see people talking about is how can you tell when blue cheese goes bad? And there is a way to tell when blue cheese
Mhm.
goes bad.
It gets brown.
It smells like ammonia,
Yep.
or it gets fuzzy white, green, pink, or gray spots
Gray.
growing on the surface. Those are typical of the types of bacteria that will develop on the surface of blue cheese, and it actually tastes like, or it actually smells like unwashed feet. Believe it or not. And
Yeah,
because
it begins
there's a
to
very
smell
similar
like-
chemical
Yeah.
to what
Like
is what.
Fritos?
No, it's a very similar chemical to the chemical that is produced by the bacteria that come in and feast on the fungus that grows between your toes. I know way too much about this. And anyway, it produces a chemical that has actually a class of chemicals.
Dude,
And it smells the same as blue cheese when it goes bad.
And the
this
white
is
mold
important
that-
information.
And the white mold that he's mentioning is on the cut face, not on the rind, because a lot of blue cheeses also have a white mold rind.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about the cut face, obviously not
Yep.
on the rind. The rind doesn't really go bad.
The
Yeah,
rind-
I was
rind
just
could
making
get
sure.
mold on it, but
Graying of the blue cheese, though, it's what's difficult about that is if you think about Stilton
Mhm.
yes,
and how
Hold on,
grayed
before we go,
out
the rind and
color.
the cut. Rind is the outside and the cut
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the rind. Is it the rind? I'm trying to keep up. Okay?
Yes, rind
Yeah,
like
I'm
on,
trying to figure out like
it's
'cause
important
I'm like,
stuff here. We discuss the important stuff here.
Yeah,
I'm writing
rind,
notes and everything, and I'm trying.
rind
Okay,
is
so-
the outside of the cheese.
Like that
The-
red thing that they have on the outside of those little.
That's
Yeah.
a wax rind, yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
at the end of World War II, they actually tried to put a bridge across it, but it was a bridge too far.
oh shit.
Wrong
Bridge
type of
across,
rind.
across the Rhine.
So
I think it was
The-
Remagen.
you get
Spoils
several
the
different
joke,
types.
Prospero.
Mhm.
You get several different types of rinds.
I don't think I
because
spoiled
you
anything.
have
I think we're dealing with spoiled material.
I don't know. Let's check the
white
rind.
mold. You have white mold rinds. You have wax rinds, and then you have natural rinds, which are just
Like the hardened
typically
exterior,
salted, hardened cheese. Yeah.
like the exterior of a parmesan.
Don't they
Okay.
roll it around in salt?
some types of cheeses end up getting effectively a salted rind on
A
the
salted
outside.
rind. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
And then you also have one other type that I forgot, the paper rind, which
Oh, yeah.
is only for certain types of cheeses, effectively.
And,
So-
and everybody should remember this. If you have real Parmigiano Reggiano, not the fake shit, okay? Don't waste your time on this. Trust me, getting genuine Parmigiano Reggiano is better than any fake Parmesan you can get.
You'll never
never go
eat
back.
the green tube shit again.
You will never go back, and you don't.
Hold on, wait. What's it called?
Parmigiano Reggiano
It's
I'm
usually
glad you
just
added
called
the accent.
Reggiana.
or Reggiano. Either
I'm gonna make
either-
sure to ask that at the local jewel.
Yeah, but it's a lot more expensive per pound than stuff called Parmesan. But the
And when
You
cheese
don't-
is more expensive, like 4 times as expensive.
but you don't use as much because it is that much more flavorful.
Mhm.
Potent.
It's just like it might be 4 times more expensive than the knockoff shit, but it's
But
like
100 times as good.
100 times as flavorful.
Yeah.
And that rind, if you ever make your own sauce, put the rind in the sauce.
Who else eats cheese rind here?
I
a
use
cheese
mine.
rack?
I freeze my Parmigiano
I eat
rinds.
a block of brie like a chocolate bar.
I can't stand. I cannot stand the texture of the mold.
Yeah.
I
I just love
prefer
it.
I prefer camembert.
Damn it! I wish
I
we
like
could.
camembert
we
too.
could
Cambozola is an amazing cheese. The
Yeah,
camembert gorgonzola blend.
gorgonzola is a little bit strong flavor. It's not that it's too strong a flavor, but it's the gorgonzola flavor is not my favorite. But I understand why people love it.
But with the camembert, the camembert backs it down,
Yeah.
so it's not as aggressive. Now, if
I've never tried that. I should. I knew it existed, but I've never tried.
you give it a try because it's not
Mhm.
as aggressive as gorgonzola. Gorgonzola has a unique aggression to it that
Yes, it does.
that other blue cheeses do not.
It
Like
could be a heartburn too, like son of a bitch.
Roquefort is so mild by comparison to gorgonzola. It's just like two different.
See,
Yes.
one of my favorite blue cheeses is Valdion blue cheese,
Mhm.
which is just unbelievably delicious. It has oak leaves wrapped around it, so it gets this really earthy
known-
taste.
But it's also known as very mild, very easy to eat cheese.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a milder blue. It's not like
Yeah.
gorgonzola, which is jump
No,
up and
it's-
slap your grandma.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly.
Gorgonzola is like you think you've had blue cheese.
It rapes your taste buds.
It's a little of it goes a very, very long way.
Well, howdy.
Blue cheese vinaigrettes can be really good too,
Mhm.
as something a little bit lighter. And they're not as caloric as the sour cream mayonnaise based blue cheese dressings
Mhm.
are. It's
Cheese dressing usually
Oh,
disappoints
shit, we were
me.
talking about dressings.
it doesn't what now, Skep?
Blue cheese dressings usually disappoint me.
Yeah, they're never as flavorful as I want them to be,
Right.
which
The
is
blue cheese is almost there.
why I kind of like I'm going to add blue cheese crumbles
Mhm.
if I'm going to use a lot of blue cheese dressings.
And you were saying, Adam, that when we swapped over to dressings?
Bro, dude,
No.
you're asking me to remind.
Bit too far back?
Rewind.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, hold on. I will say I'm fucking hungry, and now I kind of want to try these different. I didn't know there were so much differences in these cheesies, and blue cheese caramels. Wow,
They're worth trying, man. They
Yep.
are worth trying.
Cheeses are amazing.
And I know it's interesting. Like, Gree didn't really care for blue cheese. I introduced it to him sideways and slowly. It was a case of like finding Huntsman,
Mm-hmm.
which is a double Gloucester with Stilton
Yep, and it's amazing.
streaks in it, and the double Gloucester helps temper the bite of it, and against a whole wheat cracker like Triscuit that backs down the aggressiveness of the blue cheese even more. I'd give him tastes of that, and then I'd give him a taste of Stilton, and then and then he tried blue cheese dressing on wings.
Shropshire is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, honestly, the discussion on the differences of cheeses, because I'm still imagining a chocolate bar of cheese that Skep talked about earlier. And I was thinking, this probably would have been better if we were like hanging out and tasting these cheese, because then we'd be like, oh yeah, dude, yeah.
I would love nothing more than.
Is that a thing, like a wine tasting?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's have you ever are you familiar with charcuterie?
No, I am.
Okay,
Just
well,
imagine
like
I'm a blank canvas.
like if people have salami and capicola and
What is salami?
It's
No,
a
I get it.
it's
No,
a so- it's a so- it's a
I'm Googling.
sausage. It's
Yeah.
a dried preserved
Pressed meat.
meat.
It's meat.
But like if you get certain meats or a pate or turians or things like that, and cheeses and fruit, cheese and fruit particularly are very good because fruit can cleanse the palate between tasting different
Like
cheeses.
roasted grapes.
Or like regular grapes, or things that actually complement one another. There are a lot of fruits that the fruit itself with the cheese, but both of them just end up tasting better.
Mm-hmm.
It's they play off of each other.
It's interesting what cheese can do to certain fruits. There's a particular fruit I'm thinking of. It's called a star fruit.
Mm-hmm.
This fruit is nearly tasteless.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like a blank slate of fruit. But if you get like a pretty strong flavored cheese, and like you're eating some Stilton, or some Roquefort, and then you eat a bite of star fruit, it tastes so delightfully sweet. It tastes like the sweetest, most wonderful, fruity blast in your mouth. It's just a fun thing to do. Anyway, just remember star fruit.
I think strawberries can be sweetened. Strawberries can be rather tart.
Yeah,
and
they're high acid.
And they can be sweetened by aggressive cheeses, like the sharp, your teeth squeak, crumbly Welsh cheddar or English cheddar.
Yeah.
That a cheese like that is very difficult to eat just on its own.
Cheddar from Western England is very different from what Americans think cheddar cheese is.
It is incredibly aggressive.
It's a very strong tasting cheese,
and it's marvelous. There's a Welsh cheddar that is packaged under the name Collier. How amusing!
Well, hey, can I interrupt real quick?
I just got that.
I will say, in my limited knowledge on cheeses, and also tapping into the locale of my location, I will say Tillamook cheese is pretty good.
Tillamook makes really good cheeses.
Yeah,
Wisconsin, right?
They sure are.
Yeah,
Fucking Wisconsin.
Says Cabot. Cabot is also a Wisconsin product, and their extra sharp Vermont style cheddar is almost to teeth squeak. Not quite, but they make it like an excessively sharp cheddar or something. They call it sharply sharp. Because I don't. Okay,
it's
I don't.
Oregon. It's not Wisconsin. Oregon.
Tillamook is
Oregon. It's not Wisconsin.
Cabot is Wisconsin. Several cheeses.
Tillamook is Oregon? Damn, I've been lied to.
Yeah, Oregon actually, they make I think there's a really...
Now, Cabot is actually from Cabot, Vermont,
It is?
Yeah. Cabot, Vermont is the town.
Oh, thank you.
Cabot Creamery exists.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wisconsin makes really good cheddars, and a fair number.
Wisconsin has tons of cheese.
They've just dairies everywhere, so they're making cheese everywhere. And Vermont too, because of the topography is good for cattle. But Tillamook,
real quick, are any of you guys experiencing break-in in the vocals, or is it just me?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
Okay, that's me.
Rats. No. Adam, internet, behave. You listen to me.
Hey, Adam, I've got a slight different question. Where you are, is marijuana legal in the state where you live?
Say again?
Or is marijuana legal in the state where you live?
I believe so. I think they made marijuana legal.
They decriminalized it.
Okay. Yeah, they because there is dispensaries out in Illinois. And I think you can carry a certain amount and grow a certain amount or something like that.
Yeah, on March 25th
medical
last year, Illinois lawmakers narrowly allowed a bill, and you can have, under existing law, possession of less than 30 grams of cannabis is not illegal, so it's decriminalized if you have like an ounce of dope. 28 grams to nothing. I just was kind of hankering for some cannabis, and
me too. It's been
also it has a hell.
My problem is I've been hankering for it for about 40 years, so and I've gotten to do it one time with a certain friend of mine.
Yeah, dude. And hey, hopefully we can have a repeat.
Another meetup.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that again, by the way.
Hale's not going to be able to make it.
We need to have another meetup. That way we can have cheese.
Yeah, really, seriously.
Bring up
my hangover loaf / lambus loaf.
Yeah, that's odd.
And for those of us that imbibe, the box of booze will be there.
Of a grown man for a full day. How much do you eat, Pep?
Yeah, but cheese boards are a thing, Adam. To go back to your thing about tasting like wine. No, they really are. People will taste cheese like they taste wine, like they taste beer, like they taste charcuterie.
I'm sure they do. And there's people who go and look at giant canvases of red circles and pontificate about how it feels to them. I mean, is it going to feel good on my fucking meatball?
There are people who love, there are people who love cheese who will do it, and they won't be pompous pricks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's a pompous prick about, hey, do you want to try Fontina? Do you want to try Gruyere? Because they're cheeses like Emmentaler, which is a lot like Swiss.
Well, hold on. It's more like, unless you're cooking it for yourself, you're going out to somebody else's creation, right? So if I never tried lamb and somebody invited me out to go and eat lamb, that's where I'm going for, that's where I'm getting the experience from.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of these cheese tasting stuff, unless somebody brings like a smorgasbord of cheeses,
they do that.
I'm not gonna know these different tastes. So I'm only aware of what's in my atmosphere, my orbital.
Tell you what, Adam, next time that we have one of those hangouts, especially if it's going to be a multi-course hangout like the last one was, cheese in between courses is a fantastic way of doing it.
If we're doing the same steaks, 100%. The mushrooms too. The mushrooms are fucking delicious. Mm-hmm. No onions, don't trick me. And 3.
I'll get you to eat jammy onions.
Yeah. And 3, I'd be down for trying cheeses, but this is just like, it's like a weird thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know, because like even today I was like, you know what? I want to get myself a bag of apples, but then I don't know which type I should go. And right now,
do you like tart?
Well, that's the thing.
If so,
in a better place, I'd be like, yeah, just get all of them. But right now, it's like,
if you like tart things, go for Granny Smith. Because
they're the most tart apple. If you want a good all around, Fuji is a real kind of gets the best of all worlds. You get the snap of a golden.
I got a bag of Fuji.
Yeah, that's a really good apple, and it's a lot of vitamins in it too.
Yeah,
it's genetically modified. Everybody,
you like tart? Do you like tartar apples, Adam? Is that what you said?
I like all apples.
Honey Crisp, if you can find those.
Honey Crisp. That's what I was trying to remember the name of. They are actually too sweet for me, but people who like
Really?
the sweet crisp apple, man, that is amazing apple.
They trend tart around here. I mean, not as tart as a Macintosh or a Granny Smith, but they're not as sweet
Yeah.
as. See, the thing about Golden Delicious, if you can get them locally, they're one thing.
Yeah.
When they're in the grocery store, they tend to be more like Red Delicious. They've tamped back their flavor, and their texture doesn't get as
You don't get a lot of Red Delicious from Washington, unfortunately, anymore. And those were the best Red Delicious. Most of our Red Delicious come from, I believe, Chile.
Also,
they're crap.
If
They're
you're able
awful.
to find them,
Yeah.
a type of apple that I would recommend, but they're son of a bitch to find. I've only found them once. Cosmic Crisp apples.
Ooh, that sounds. I like that name. There's so many varieties now because they've come up with new little sub varieties that
Yep.
I mean, Fuji's been around a good while, but there's the Lady Apple. Shit, what was the one I saw?
By the way, if you want to buy Cosmic Crisp, I'm going to put the link in. So you just happen to have it right here.
That sounds like a cereal for heads.
Well, I was gonna say drug deal. Like, hey, if you want this
Cosmic Crisp,
sour Kush, man.
It's cosmiccrisp.com.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Cosmic Crisp apples are delicious because they kind of balance everything. So it's the sweetness that you get from like a Honey Crisp and the Red Delicious type sweetness, but not mealy. It gets a bit of the tartness from like a Granny Smith, but it's not as tart. It has a nice flesh feel to it. It's apparently a cross of Honeycrisp and Enterprise.
Oh, that's interesting. That's nice to know. I mean, I ate a lot of Macintosh apples when we lived in New England, and they are pretty tart. But they make for a good cooking apple because they have a lot of flavor. You know, like I use tart apples. I lean toward tart if I'm making applesauce or something like that. And especially if you're going to do like an apple pie that has like a crumble topping. I don't mean like a Dutch apple pie all the way to that, but where you do a looser crumble. Granny Smith are just great because they just hold up their flavor.
Absolutely. They last forever. Cosmic Crisp. Yeah. This is interesting. I got to tell you about this. It says it's non-GMO, but I don't believe that for a second. Yeah. They say it's from the world-class tree fruit breeding. So that tells me that yes, it is actually GMO. It's just they're doing nature to do it, but it's got a really crisp texture. And the crispness of an apple that's about 40% of the apple to me. That is, taste and tartness are probably the other parts I care about, and non-mealiness. I can't stand mealy apples.
No, yeah.
But this looks like an excellent apple, Sanguine. I really want it. I'm probably going to order some of these.
I'm gonna get myself a wallpaper of this apple.
Yeah, because I like good apples. I'm when I lived in Washington State, when the apples came in, man, for one thing, apples are almost free up there and sell them by the side of the road, and they are amazing, and they have their own varieties. There are apples up there that you can't get anywhere else in the world because only one farm sells them, and they sell out what they sell by the side of the road.
That's how the Cosmic Crisp started up effectively?
I'm sure that's how it started. Guarantee that's how it started.
Yeah, it was.
Cosmic Crisp started up beside the road.
It was Washington State University in their
that's down in Pullman, Washington.
Yeah, it's the Tree Fruit Research and Extension Center were the ones that came up with the Cosmic Crisp.
Yep.
Now we need to find out if they use gamma radiation.
Oh man, if they gamma farm, that makes them even more.
That makes
my
it
type
better
of
as far as I'm
apple.
concerned. Yeah, because that's
If I
going
turn into the
to take
Hulk
out
after
the
eating-
viruses. There won't even be viruses in there if you use gamma on it.
I still find gamma farming the most hilarious. What the fuck, humanity? You brilliant bastards.
Yeah. Well, hey, ruby red grapefruit are amazing.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
That's all I gotta say.
Oh shit! You know what? Yes, I need to get me some grapefruit.
I can't eat grapefruit anymore, and it makes me very, very sad. Very
shit.
sad. Oh, you can have 5 sections, maybe 5 or 6 hours after you take your medication. I'm like, no, you don't understand how I ate grapefruit.
Did you salt or sugar them?
Sometimes neither. Tended to use a little sugar. That's how I was raised.
Okay.
Dusted a
like the
little
bite.
sugar over the grapefruit. I salt watermelon, however.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep. Makes it
Oh wait,
sweeter.
I have heard that. Yeah. Oh,
My
Yeah.
wife does that. I can't understand it, but my
It
wife
makes it
does that.
sweeter.
If
Yes, you can
something has any bitterness to it, slightly salting it ends up confusing your taste buds effectively.
Well, and
But
also
the
watermelon.
is better.
You know, like if you
Better.
get the already cut up watermelon in the grocery store, sometimes it's kind of bland tasting.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's any flavor to it, the salt will bring that to the fore.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes it's wonderful, sometimes it's It depends on the time of year and where they're sourcing the watermelon.
Yeah.
You know, in the summertime, you get much more reliable cut fruit in the grocery store
Mhm.
because it's coming from closer by. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not being ripened in a sulfur dioxide
Yeah.
environment on board
Like those-
a ship.
Like fucking pink tennis balls that are masquerading as tomatoes in the wintertime. It's just like
That's not a tomato. You can't fool me.
there's a goddamn tennis ball that you dyed red. You know, it's just awful.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. I'd rather go without.
They have to have a skin like a carapace. My
Yeah.
God.
The wonderful thing about some of the cherry tomatoes and some of the heirloom small cherry and grape and pear tomatoes
Mhm.
is that they are being grown in greenhouses now.
Yeah,
And
celebrity minis also.
And they're not getting gassed.
Yep.
So you actually have it.
No need to gas them if you're growing them in a grape in a green glass in a
Succession house, greenhouse.
yeah greenhouse.
And-
It makes all the difference in the world.
It does. Ditto with strawberries, the operations that do their strawberries.
My grandfather in Alabama was a nurseryman. That was his second career after World War I was over. He started Mancy's Nursery. That's our family name, Mancy. Mancy's Nursery in Bay Minette, Alabama. And he actually, there are lots and lots of pecan trees all over the place. He assisted the county agent there, and he actually planted thousands. He planted thousands of pecan trees all over that area of
Thank
Alabama.
God for your grandfather.
Oh yeah. Everybody loved old Joe Mancy, my father's father.
And to
Pecans are
respond-
God's gift to nuts. I mean, it's just next to the cashew. There is. I mean, I like macadamias, but they're not. Macadamias are very rich, very buttery, but they don't taste as nutty as cashews or pecans do to me.
Yeah,
And cashews and
but-
pecans are just my favorite.
the texture of pecans is just wonderful.
Yes. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just fabulous. It's just fun to eat them.
And you don't get nasty ones like you can with walnuts. You know how
Right,
walnuts
yeah.
can be
I know
fine, but
exactly what you mean.
you get one of those bitter bitches, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm never eating a walnut again.
Yeah, it tastes like a filbert nut. Why does anyone eat filbert nuts? Somebody explain that to me.
I don't know. And why do they put them in the can mixed nuts? Go to
Well,
Help
yeah.
Planters.
Not
to-
it's get the one that says premium on it, and they're not in there. You notice?
Yeah, I notice. And they don't. I don't understand Brazil nuts either.
Yeah,
Brazil nuts are just kind of like, okay, I put something in my mouth and I ate
it's
it.
bulk. It's bulk, but they're
Yeah.
too big. They're too big.
Like almonds are all right. Marcona almonds are just, they're the macadamias of almonds. They're just, Marcona almonds are amazing.
And to respond to a question that I was asked in chat, oysters and snails are both delicious depending on how you cook them. Oyster has more ways of cooking it and having it come out delicious than snails. So if you're asking which is better, oysters you're less likely to fuck up.
Yeah. I think I like oysters better than snails, but I've had escargot a couple times, and every time it was overcooked, and therefore all I could think of is if you dipped a pencil eraser in garlic butter and ate it, that would be escargot.
Yeah, that's if it's really cooked to shit.
Yeah. Both times, expensive restaurants. I could have done without them.
That's a goddamn shame.
It was, and I don't understand the appeal of alligator particularly either. Slightly briny chicken. Frog's legs are better to me than alligator. I'll eat pretty much any protein. But
I don't like alligator. It has a texture I'm not crazy about.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
And also it's there's kind of a vague, gross kind of
swampy.
Yeah,
swampy for
funky brine to it.
Funky taste to it. Funky is the best term. Yeah.
If you ground it up and put it in chili, I wouldn't know from. But
but you could do that with sawdust, you know.
And you can make alligator so it doesn't have that swampy funk to it.
But you can't use alligator. Just take out the alligator.
You have to treat it right. Like I've had really good alligator fritters.
What about chickens that identify as alligators? Be eating alligators to be respectful.
Well, if everything tastes of chicken, then chicken is an appropriate substitute to everything.
Oh, God, Mr. Yes is now going to run down his list of every food he's ever thought of. Yes, of course I'd eat a bison burger. Bison burgers are delicious.
Yeah,
I had a bison burger.
Amazing.
Yeah, in Montana.
They are
take it. What the way we make hamburgers here, oddly enough, is 50% bison burger, 50% sirloin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can also make emu burgers and ostrich burgers. Both of those are delicious.
I've had ostrich. Yeah, it's tasty. It's a poor substitute to me to actual beef, but it's fine. I mean, I just.
Have you ever had ostrich jerky?
Yeah,
I've had ostrich jerky, and it's pretty darn good, actually.
Salmon jerky.
Why? I don't know, but I've known a couple of
salmon jerky is to die for. I thought I would hate that, and
so did I. You know what it is? It's like it reconstitutes into locks in your mouth. It's just like
it really is. It's just excellent.
God, I mean, dice it up and mix it with cream cheese and smear it on a bagel, and I'd be in hog heaven.
So you mentioning the different types of jerky just made me remember one of the times I ended up in Texas, and the Buc-ee's signs all over the fucking place in the area that I was going. And they had this massive selection of jerkies, but I also remember Buc-ee's fresh beaver balls being advertised.
Yeah, there isn't a jerky place on earth that doesn't sell something that doesn't have a suggestive name.
Yep.
Yeah. You realize those are not actual beaver balls.
Yes, I realize.
Right. They come from pigs.
No, those would be called damn nuts if they were actual beaver balls.
Yeah.
Wait, pig nuts?
Right. Pig nuts. Pig nuts are considered to be a bit of a delicacy in some quarters.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I've eaten them. They're not terrible. They're not terrible.
Hold on. I wouldn't be surprised if pig nuts was like some snack food in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when I say the word pig nuts, I get this image of John Kerry in my mind.
Give me a double and some pig nuts.
I just have.
It's weird. That's weird how that works. I just did it again. Wow, you just popped right in pig nuts.
Yeah.
You all talk amongst yourselves. Nana has to Bloodwing. She'll be right back.
Oh.
So
hey, speaking of Bloodwing, I hope he's good. And hope you're doing good out there, Bloodwing, and everything good for you and your family.
I have not heard from Bloodwing probably in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And I just caught him in a Twitter thread. We said hi, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's, he seemed like he was doing fine. I remember thinking that at the time.
Yeah, from what I hear, he's been kept busy by work and family.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a question for you guys. What is going on with Lords of the Night's viewers? They seem like they've really declined since Monkey left. Or is that polite to talk about?
I haven't. Go ahead, Adam.
They're getting like 100 viewers, 100
I don't know.
people in chat, and they used to get like 150, 180.
Maybe, I mean, I stopped watching them a while ago.
Yeah.
But it's not so much that it's not because I'm not interested. It's just because of, circumstances.
But why do you think their viewership is down?
Honestly, since I haven't seen the show, I can't really say.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't.
Oh, good.
Well, I can't say if it's because of a change in the lineup in who's hosting, or if it's the topics, or if it's just there's other shows on at the same time that's eating up at their viewer count. But I mean, hey, Satsu and Scribes is still,
Quality.
they're still entertaining. Yeah, they're still good hosts. And
Well, no, I'm not saying they are. I just wondered if there was something that had changed there, because I wasn't aware of it. That because it seems like the show hasn't changed that much.
Yeah, I haven't watched in a bit. I got a bit burnt out in the run-up to the election, and I'm probably going to start watching again in the coming week or two, but just haven't as of yet. So I'm not really sure what all's changed or if there's anything that would stick out to me.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just thought it might be an interesting thing to talk about and understand what the deal was.
With what? Who?
Why?
I'm back, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Lords of the Night? Why is their viewership down so much?
Well, everybody lost viewership significantly.
50%. Has everybody lost 50%? That would make sense then.
A
Well,
fair number of people seem to. YouTube is kind of trying to fuck certain people into the ground.
I'd say most people lost 30% of their viewership. But they lost someone who was, I think, very much a draw for a lot of people when Monkey left.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, it has an impact. It just does, and that does not mean that Scribe and Satsu were always interesting on their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Monkey has the oversized personality that there's a lot of magnetism there. And everybody likes his rants, and they like his reactions. Even though I think some of Scribe's reactions are remarkable, and Satsu's are, it takes a lot to get Satsu wound up, but when he does, it can have an interesting result, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Satsu's very, very quiet, but still waters run deep. And, by comparison to somebody like Monkey.
So it's like people like the agitated type of perspective, as opposed to like Scribe or Satsu's viewpoint on what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I guess ranting monkey. That's I get it, but
The
it's
outsized personality, maybe. It's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to say. Monkey also brings certain insights. Um, his life experience and life arc is a little, different, and he's very verbal. So, um, you very rarely. It wasn't until toward the end, before he announced that he was leaving Lords of the Night, that I ever felt I saw him working.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean. Working to come up with something to say, working with some way to react to something. Started noticing he seemed very tired of the
Mhm.
stories. And I think it was just the routine.
Yeah,
With his irregular hours, with his pain
probably
issues.
felt owned. Probably felt like his
He
life
felt like,
was not
his
his own.
time was not his own. And I mean, the grandbabies, with 3 of them now, and with the 2 youngest coming into personalities, Grand Monkey's so grown up sounding now. Scribes changed his opener on his videos. You know how he had that sweet little voice, sweet little baby voice, almost saying, "Hi, Scribe." Well, she recorded a new "Hi, Scribe," where it's really clear. She just sounds so grown up. And, that's precious time for Lady Monkey and Monkey. And if your time's not your own, you're leaving the family dinner to go prepare for a show.
I could see how I could
Yeah.
say no way, Jose.
Yeah, where there would be a greater pull to strengthen the connection with your own family. It's, it's 4 years is a long time
Yeah,
to do
no doubt.
6 nights a week.
Wait, Monkey was on for 4 years,
Yeah.
6 nights a week. Okay.
They started, November of 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to
Or
do math. I am
early
not.
2017? So,
Yeah,
that's, that's a long time. 6 nights a week. 1 night a week's
still-
fun. 1 or 2 nights a week, I could see somebody being able to hang in there. But that's a heck of a call for time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I'm not good with math. I'm still shocked that Minions of the Zoo, considering that we kind of started with just hanging out with Monkey and the Lords of the Night, that it's been this long,
Mm-hmm.
But at the same end, I love Monkey. I wish him the best, so I can't blame him for wanting to cut down, Enjoy your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean he's still trying, I think, to regulate his schedule, which is hard to do.
Hold on, let's just not say any of these people's names again, because let's not summon them. Okay? Because all of a sudden we're gonna have some issues, and then they're gonna start arguing, and
Not
we were
everyone
having a
works.
good.
Not everyone works under Goot rules, Adam.
No. Remember,
Oh shit! Don't.
Monkey is streaming right now,
Yep.
so
He's preoccupied.
he's preoccupied. He is preoccupied.
Checkmate, monkey.
Yeah. We started first, and then he rolled in about a half hour later, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more. But just about... You never know when Monkey in the Morning is going to be on. That's the glory of it. And See, you can always count on minions. We're always on at 11:30.
You know, one thing about all the stuff that's happened with YouTube and with people doing shows like this is I've realized several things. First of all, there are a lot of people doing YouTube who have a lot more talent than the people who are in the mainstream media doing this full time in front of the expensive cameras.
Mhm.
And another thing is that you realize that people like Brian Stelter are just completely talentless hacks. There are people like Chris Cuomo and Brian Stelter and Don Lemon who get up there and read copy for a living. They read copy into a TV camera. That's what they do for a living. Chris Cuomo's a failed lawyer. He gets on TV and reads copy into the TV camera. Don Lemon is a failed human being, gets on TV, reads copy into a TV camera. These guys make millions of dollars a year, and they're essentially just hapless jerk-offs who are owned by CNN or MSNBC or whoever. Brian Stelter. Yeah, Brian Stelter isn't even. He's not a member of a disadvantaged group, and he's not even pretty. He doesn't have Chris Cuomo's physique, to be sure. And he looks, as you said earlier, kind of like a potato. He's a potato person, and he's a disgusting, self-satisfied piece of crap who makes zillions of dollars reading news into a fancy camera. And then you see somebody like Ranting Monkey who has actual skill, actual intelligence, actual insight into stuff. That's the guy who ought to be earning millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's a lot better at
Kid you not.
commentary. Much better at commentary.
Much better at thinking.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's so much smarter than a guy like Chris Cuomo.
He's funnier.
He's not only funny, he truly is more. He is more intelligent, literally more intelligent.
Also a better voice.
He's got an amazing voice.
Because I don't really listen to Cuomo or Lemon or Stelter or really any of them and go, that's a good voice.
And Monkey has a microphone voice. He
He does.
any microphone, any medium of communication.
That
just sounds rich. Sounds good.
What was that radio voice that they tried in the early American? Yes, and now we're telling you this is exactly.
Yeah, Ed
Transatlantic.
Or was that his name? Hagley, Worley, something. Roger Worley and Ed Hagley were the good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the transatlantic accent.
Well, okay. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
You're trying to think the accent name, right?
There was like a specific.
Yes, it was a specific way of speaking and an accent and a pronunciation of words, so that it would be understood across the pond. A little bit like the received pronunciation of the BBC is considered their global pronunciation.
Yeah, the transatlantic was effectively the American version of received.
Yeah,
and Monkey adapted it, and
Monkey does not use it. Monkey does not use the transatlantic.
I would fucking pay to hear Monkey speak transatlantic, though.
I don't know how he could, but it would be funny.
That would be the fun part.
It really would be funny. He's Monkey spent too much time in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He may be from Southern California, but he spent too much time in Virginia. It affected his speech.
It's called the Mid-Atlantic accent.
Oh, it's Mid-Atlantic? Okay.
Yeah, it's called, and it's an affected, it's also known as the transatlantic accent.
Okay, I did.
It's an affected accent of English fashionably used by early 20th century American upper class and entertainment industry, which blended together features regarded as the most prestigious from both American and British English, specifically received pronunciation. It is not a native or regional accent, rather, according to voice and drama professor Dudley Knight, its earliest advocates bragged that its chief quality was that no Americans actually spoke it unless educated to do so. The accent was embraced in private independent preparatory schools, especially by members of the northeastern upper
Yes.
class, as well as in schools for film and stage acting, but its overall use sharply declined following the Second World War. A similar accent that resulted from different historical processes, Canadian dainty, was also known in Canada in the same era. More recently, the term mid-Atlantic accent can also refer to any accent with a perceived mixture of both American and British characteristics. So there you go. A little background on the transatlantic or mid-Atlantic accent.
It gives you a hint as to two assumptions. One, that the Northeast speaks better.
Yes.
And two, that London and East speak better British English, because the New England accent comes from East Anglia, and the received pronunciation, the BBC is, no one speaks like that.
Well, hold on. Wait,
no one speaks like some of the reporters for the BBC. I mean, don't
they have the Queen's English or
well,
that's different. That's a different thing. That was about normalizing spelling and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, your received pronunciation, or as we used to call it, RP, is the accent traditionally regarded as the standard for British English. And for over a century, there's been an argument over issues like what the definition of it is, whether or not it's geographically neutral, how many speakers of it there are, and whether subvarieties exist, and I think they probably do. Now, how appropriate a choice it is a standard, and how the accent has changed over time. RP is an accent, so the study of RP is concerned only with matters of pronunciation. Other areas relevant to the study of language standards, such as vocabulary, grammar, and style, are not considered. No, they're not part of the paradigm that defines RP.
Yeah, RP is about the accent, and the accent only. It's a bit similar to what some people refer to as the Oxbridge accent. Because I think a lot of Oxford and Cambridge people are trained in RP. You know, as far as public speaking goes, but the
RP is sometimes referred to, by the way, as Oxford English. You'll hear it called that.
Yeah, I've heard it called Oxbridge since Oxford English, so as to include Cambridge, because people getting a bit pissy. Do you mean Oxford University? You know that.
Cambridge is generally a university these days. I think most people would say. I mean, the distinguished people go to Oxford to retire.
But nothing west of Oxford would be acceptable,
right?
Because then you start getting into regional accents in a different form of speaking, and you can't go north of there either. So it's
or you get into the Midlands, forget about it.
Yeah,
people don't even speak English up there.
There are people that say the same about Southwest. So with all their R's.
Yeah. And Brummie is that's a
Brummie is itself a thing.
Yeah.
And so is Scouse.
Scouse. I was going to say Brummie and Scouse.
And then Geordies.
Yeah, Geordies.
Yeah, God, shit. And, the Yorks. And there's a Lancashire accent that's not as impenetrable as York's, but yikes. Anyway.
Well, then,
hold on, there's a Lancashire accent, but it's not as best as yours.
Is York?
No,
it's similar to Yorkshire, though.
Waka waka.
It is. It's.
I'm gonna go Bloodwing real quick, and then I'll be right back. I really don't like that terminology, but used it already, so I'm gonna use
one of the
it.
more interesting places that has an interesting variation that I've run into is a place in England called Bradford.
Mm-hmm.
The people up there speak this clipped Northy dialect of English that you just, it's they speak so quickly, so fast. It sounds like birds chirping at each other really fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way I can describe it. I
What the
can't even
hell?
do an imitation of it. But anyway, you can find it on the internet. You can listen to it.
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
Also,
there's
some of the coastal ones. That title thing on the eastern side of England, the one that they speak just south of Berwick, and it's just that part of the coast up there. There are a number of YouTube videos with that accent on it.
Are you
And
talking
also-
about Berwick on Tyne?
Yeah, the one that's in southern Scotland.
Yeah, no,
kind of area.
the Newcastle, the Geordies, they have a distinct dialect.
Yeah,
And it's
and,
I'll never forget watching A Kitchen Nightmares.
it's fascinating to hear
Where
the actual people speak. And there's they had one with a lady. She was the last speaker of this. It's one of the island dialects. That's what I was thinking of. It was interesting to hear her talk. One of the islands. That was another interesting accent. That like up around Skye and stuff.
Way
up north. And there are wholly different languages, just completely different languages.
Okay, are you talking about
people speak
the northeast off the Scottish coast, or north, like the Orkneys?
I'm talking about north of the main part of Scotland.
Okay, because Skye is.
When I say Skye, I say that is a generic island, not Skye in particular.
Okay, no,
just
Gaelic.
Those little pieces
region
of Scotland that are out in the Atlantic up there.
Oh, okay.
Little pieces of Scotland in the Atlantic that are
in the Atlantic, but not the North Sea.
Yeah, the North Sea and the Atlantic. Yeah,
okay, because the Orkneys and Shetland were Pictish speakers, and Skye and the Hebrides.
Yeah, I think actually one of the ones that I was
Gaelic.
listening to, the lady was, I think they were talking about it was a descendant of a Pict language.
Yeah, like the Orkneys and Shetlands were Pictish language, as well as some of the northeast, the northeast of Scotland. Northwest of Scotland, the Hebrides, were Gaelic speakers. It's weird. Scotland, Tailed would have to explain this. There are like 4 quadrants of linguistics in Scotland.
I just know it's a very unusual sounding language.
Yeah,
it's worth checking out.
Yeah, that sounds cool because
to how those people
it's
talk.
kin to Norse more than it's kin to anything else.
Interesting. Wonder if there's a
John O'Groats to just sail north and you run into these where no trees grow because the wind blows all the goddamn time. Oh, it makes me cold.
You spent 2 hours of your life listening to us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
congratulations on surviving the experience.
I was going to take it around the horn for parting thoughts, and start with Sanguine, and you can be a little wordy since Adam isn't back yet because he gets his parting thoughts as well.
Okay, so before I go into my actual parting thoughts, I just saw something that I'm trying to find the paper that it references, because apparently there's word that a new study has come out on Texas reopening 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That from the report on the paper said that there wasn't really a increase in issues, which it's proving to be rather difficult to find this, since if you search on Google for it, it shows the papers that came out about 2 to 3 weeks ago saying that it's going to cause this huge issue, but not anything on the paper saying
Texas broke. They broke the narrative.
After we did this is the result. I found one paper that I was glancing through, and it seems like this might be the paper reference. I need to look into it a bit more. But yeah, pretty cool news. The 100% opening does not seem to have noticeably spiked the incidents.
Yeah, it's kind of it's really disappointing, Blue Anon.
Yeah,
Which says a great deal about the character of those individuals.
Yep.
What, they didn't all die?
Yep.
They're sorely disappointed. It's between Florida and Texas, a lot of people have had their brain broken.
Yeah, and I find that absolutely hilarious and delicious. So I'll need to do a bit more poking around, see if I can find the paper or make sure that this is the paper that they were referencing.
Yeah,
and if it is,
and you
fantastic.
you can cross-ref to official data sources,
Yep.
like the Centaur for disease control and places like that.
And just being able to read over the methodology, because that's where a lot of the time when I look for a paper that says something,
Yes.
I read the methodology and I go, oh, this is absolute horseshit. Why are people? God damn it, people!
Hey, Adam, you back yet?
Yep. Adam did just unmute, so I will give my proper parting words of: if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you.
I'll try not to. Adam.
Yes.
It's time for parting words, son.
Oh shit!
We've been going for 2 hours, if you can believe it.
Really? 2 hours?
Yes, indeedy.
Wow.
Doesn't feel that long, does it?
No,
yeah,
it doesn't.
no, not at all.
Just 4 friends chatting.
Yep.
Shit, I really wish I wrote down what kind of cheeses I needed to look up and.
Sanguine will be he will be your guide through the magical world of cheese.
Well, I'm sure I can chat with y'all and figure
Absolutely.
out. So wait, what are we doing?
Parting thoughts.
Oh, thoughts on what?
Whatever you want to say for your parting words.
Life in general.
Wait, so is this like closing
Show closing
statements?
time.
Okay, there you go. One of my closing statements.
Yes.
Adam?
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Adam's not here.
Well, geez,
Mechanically muted himself with his mic.
Yeah, I think-
I was trying to hit that third ping, but yes. Closing statements. Well, I'm very glad that you you invited me onto the show. Always a pleasure to chat with the minions, and we had a lot of good discussions. It was great. Yeah, but now I'm hungry, so that kind of discourages. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my night. Figure out where I'm going to find this cheese and whatnot. But
Apparently, I'm supposed to be the cheese-based version.
well,
Get in the car and start driving.
yeah, dude. But no, dude, this was fantastic chat. I enjoyed this conversation thoroughly. I love the Fab Four. Can we say?
Yeah.
With the 4 of us, I love chatting with you guys. It's always peoples or.
Thanks, Adam. That's
I'm
nice of you to say.
happy that you were able to join us.
Them. But my closing is always simple. God bless you all, and I love you all, and take care.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. And Wingman Skep Tock.
Well, I've been watching this guy, or been reading this guy, Jeff Cooper, and he has some really great quotes. I'll just let you have a couple more tonight. One, he says that owning a handgun does not make you armed any more than owning a guitar makes you a musician. I think that's excellent. And the other one I'll leave you with is weapons compound man's power to achieve. They amplify the capabilities of both the good man and the bad, and to exactly the same degree, having no will of their own. Thus, we must regard them as servants, not masters, and good servants to good men. Without them, man is diminished, and his opportunities to fulfill his destiny are lessened. An unarmed man can only flee from evil, and evil is not overcome by fleeing from it.
Gospel.
It's the truth. It's a nice truth right there.
It
I
is.
like it.
It is. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. Tomorrow night, Mr. The Harry Channel will be in the seat doing a much finer produced show than I have ever managed to accomplish. So please tune in. I'm sure he will have many a treat.
But he's always hairy.
Well, thanks for having us on, Prospero. It's been fun hanging with you.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. It's been a very pleasant way to spend a Friday evening. And I'd like to thank chat. And come on by and see us tomorrow night. But for tonight, kids, the zoo is closed. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night, all.